everyone, welcome back. So I wanted to do a quick, two-part video, I guess. One of them is a 2023 what I'm using for planning. And yes, I know this looks like a lot, but you probably are used to this from me at this point in time. And some of this you've already seen, specifically these 2 weeks. And this book here that I am still using from last year. So there is a method to this madness, I promise, and I think I'll probably go ahead and start with what I'm using each one of these for, and then I will give you an update on the one you haven't seen yet. So let's clear some of this off and start with kind of the one book that is kind of the overarching theme for everything, I guess. Gives me the direction of where I'm going, and that is my MakseLife planner. I do have the flagship in the vertical, so the pages look like this. It is not an hourly. It does kind of look like an hourly, maybe from Erin Condren. There's just no times in here. If you've watched a previous video, you know that for 2023, I am actually using intentions instead of goals, and I will actually link that video below if you want to see my thought process behind that and everything. But as a quick preview, this is where I am as far as goals go. I do have 3 more traditional type goals for this year. One of them around starting a new company, one of them around a health goal, and then one of them around a writing goal. As you can see, it's January 1st, so I'm still somewhat moving into this. There are some parts of this that I'm not using, probably as much just because there's a lot of duplication. I have not figured out yet kind of how I want to use the month. If it's something I want to actually sit and write the month down, but then I'm writing the same information like 4 times. So I may just leave this blank and only use the parts that actually serve me. Namely, that is the monthly goals, or parts of my intentions, how I want to live out my intentions for this month. And then weekly actions that kind of move my monthly goals forward, but also just other things I need to get done that week. Namely, like this coming week we have a trip. So honestly, there's not that much filled out here because I'm not really going to be home most of the week. So mainly, aside from the goal setting part of this, what I really want to use are the weekly review questions. So I do want to be intentional about filling these out. When I did my annual review in 2021, I picked up a MakseLife planner, I want to say like March or April. I decided to move into it when I discovered the power sheets really weren't working for me last year. And when I did my annual review, and it was, one of the questions was, what were your wins this year? And it was just like, I don't remember. This has been, it's a year is a long time. And usually you only remember things that happened within the last couple of months. So going back and reading through what I thought my wins were each week and each month was super beneficial. So I really want to be intentional about filling this out. And then at the same time, doing the monthly reflections, because I think that's where I'm going to get a lot of benefit, is in celebrating the progress I make and the wins that I have. So that is really what this is going to be for. So again, MakseLife flagship vertical. I do also have these in the digital version, mainly because when I travel, I don't want to take this with me. And so, yeah, so I will usually fill out a digital version for that. What the weeks are going to look like during a normal week, or what I'm going to play with, is doing a top 3 of the things that I need to do to kind of move my weekly actions forward. A workout, to-dos, and since my focus is really going to be on my health and wellness, I want to do some health tracking, dinner, which will be part of that health and wellness, and then a gratitude at the bottom. So that's how I'm going to start using this. All right, next up, this is a planner you've actually already seen. It's my work weeks. So this is a weeks mega in the tropical yellow. And there isn't much that has changed in this setup. Probably not going to show you a current week, but this is pretty much how I'm using it. So Appointments on this side, generally I'm not filling anything out Saturday and Sunday, so this is anything for work and anything happening during work hours, anything day specific that's happening. Sometimes I'll write notes in here if it's something really short. If I need to take longer notes, I will actually flip back here to the back and write notes in the back section. On the right side is just a running to-do list using the Alistair method, so I just have Monday through Friday. I'll put a dot if there's a specific day that I think I'm going to do something on, and then an X on the day I actually accomplish it. If it's something I'm pushing forward to the next week, I'm leaving a blank column there just so I can make a note that I need to migrate it to the following week. So simple, this hasn't changed. This is probably how I'm going to use it most of the year. All right, going to skip the newest planner. You may have had a sneak preview of it in my Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. So this is my weeks that I'm using for personal. So this I still intend to carry as an everyday carry, but I did stop and sit down to figure out how I want to use this versus the B6 Stalogy, which is what I've just added. So I'm not doing a lot of duplication. If I duplicate, I tend to stop using a planner. So this is pretty much just going to be what comes with me, and it's also going to be future planning. So I do need to sit down and fill out January as far as the monthly. I may not fill out monthlies in here. I may just write stuff straight into the weeks. So we shall see. Again, this coming week I'm traveling, so I'm probably not going to do too much with it. But how I have this set up is I have routines at the top, meal ideas, and then a to-do list here. I'm not super good at tracking as far as writing things down. As far as meal ideas, honestly, most of the time we didn't do anything that was on this list. So that's just kind of how it goes. Actually, this was this day. Yeah, I don't think we did any of those this week. So I did other stuff that sounded good. I think one of the days, I think on Monday we got a chicken, and so we ate off of that a couple days. So that's how this is still going to be used. Probably just kind of a quick write down what's going on so I can flip ahead and see what's going on in coming weeks, appointments, and then to-dos that I need to get done. So that's pretty much how this is going to be used. If I need to make notes or write longer lists, I can do it in the back. Probably will be like if I'm out of the house and I need to make a quick note or a brainstorming, that sort of thing. Mainly that's just going to be the planner that I carry with me. All right, we'll go through this one really quick because this is one you've also already seen. This is mostly being used for breaking down projects. So this, I would guess you would say, is more of a task planner. And I've actually already pulled December out of here, but this is a Plum paper planner. And with this layout, the dates are across the top, and then you have kind of a grid layout here. And so you have blank spaces. With Plum paper, you can fill these out. I left them blank because these are going to change based on what I'm focusing on. Traditionally, or what I've been using so far, has been like YouTube and Instagram. When I was working on Daughters of the King services, which I'm about to start doing the next one, I had a line for the Daughters of the King, home, personal, and then kind of whatever else I needed to fill in that week. So it's pretty much just looking at what I need to do that week to break down my goals and move them forward. So this is things that I'm tracking very conscientiously. I am not sure kind of how this is going to play into stuff. I'm still kind of figuring this out. It worked really well in the fall when I was super busy. It remains to kind of see what it will look like coming up. I also have some inserts here from the Happy Planner that I trimmed down just a little bit because these are a little bit taller than the Plum paper inserts. This is the dashboard layout, I think is what it's called. Anyway, this is where I am tracking kind of things I want to do for YouTube and Instagram as far as scheduling goes. So essentially the idea being that I will schedule out what I want to do here, and then this is where I put the tasks and schedule by day for where I need to move this stuff forward. So this may end up being more of a social media planner, plus a few extra things that I need to get done. as far as larger projects go. So home and personal may drop out of this, and that, as I'm talking through this, may be what this ends up being. Because I do find it valuable to have a place to break things down. But having home and personal in here, also in other places, it seems to be kind of duplication. So that may be what this ends up doing. I will link the video down below when I set this up, just so you can kind of see how this is working. At that point in time, I think I did have 2 sets of Happy Planner inserts in here. So that I've pulled out and I've combined because I'm putting both YouTube, Instagram, but also Etsy inserts in here as well. Because I'm getting ready to revamp the inserts I'm using for my Etsy store. So if you have any that you've been waiting to buy, just one additional plug, go get them now, because if you really like the version that's out there now and you've just been holding off for some reason, they will be redone and then re-uploaded into the store. Okay, so this is the B6 Stalogy, and actually, before we jump into that, let me just show you kind of how I ended up with this. So this is the planner that I was using in 2020. So it was very much a trip down memory lane in a trip. It's all sorts of things. When I found this and I was just flipping through it, because it was kind of like what was going on during my life at that time, at my goals. Wasn't a big fan of this layout, but I really liked this as far as future planning goes. And I had done all the way through December. I had a tending list because at that point I was doing power sheets. I had a bunch of deco in here. It was a combination of things I printed, Cocoa Daisy stuff. These were my inserts that I had, actually these will be coming back into the Etsy store, where I could keep track of like a master task list, what was going on for the month, and then kind of an index of what I would find in the daily pages. And I had a spot for notes. And then this was a little bit kind of a la Ink Imperfections, where she had a week page followed by dailies. So that was kind of how I had that set up. Again, I had a spot for daily pages, things that I, deco that I wanted to put in. So all sorts of good stuff. So I really enjoyed flipping through this. The trip happened, well, I say that. It was kind of a trip when I got to like March 2020. Because then it started getting sporadic. There were notes. I could kind of see what was going on, kind of what my mind was like. I stopped using it completely. Then I was taking sermon notes in here. It's kind of been an interesting capsule for the last couple of years. I decided to start using it or playing with it again September 2021. So I'd kind of set that up a little bit. I set up some deco pages here, kind of went back to a little bit of the same format. A little bit simplified. I kind of did a Hobonichi week style here. Again, I think this was something I had in my store. It might still be there. A week page, and then Monday, like a day per page. Shared Saturday, Sunday, had a spot for a weekly review. So I had November, which I kind of did the same way. I actually had kind of gotten into some like prayer requests, prayer journaling, that sort of thing there, so I probably will have to blur that out. So kind of the same setup. I'd taken some notes when I was in a conference. So yeah, that was kind of like more of the same. I did set up December, so if you looked at my Instagram page, this was kind of the page I had taken a picture of to show kind of what my inspiration had been. And then I had done I was thinking about turning this into kind of like a prayer sort of thing. I did a deep dive brain dump at the end of the year, and I'd actually set up the planner that I ended up using at the end of 2021 for use in 2022. I completely changed my mind, didn't end up using it. So essentially what I did is I restarted it for 2023 because I hadn't actually put too much into it yet. I put a few deco pages in the front and that was it. I had done a life admin day checklist I didn't check anything off, but I feel like I did a lot of this. And so I kind of picked up. It's like I didn't want to start it at the end of 2022. I wanted to start, actually starting tomorrow. So I moved in for the last few days of December in here. So again, I did another life admin day. Let me see. Actually check one of these off because this is what I've been doing this morning, is tidying my office because it was a wreck. Huge wreck. Yeah, so as you can see, I got a lot of stuff done yesterday. I hung up a bunch of curtains that I've been wanting to hang up since we moved into this house 2 years ago. Like, I got a lot of stuff done. And then this is how I plan to use them. So having the date here, kind of a bullet journal type thing here, and then some journaling on that side. I did skip yesterday because I literally spent all day like basically working off that one to-do list. December 30th, here's today, because I didn't leave spot for January 1st and the other Stalogy. It was, yeah, whatever. And then here's my planner thoughts that I'm working off of. So this I'm going to use for the week for the appointments and major to-dos on that week page. On the daily pages, I want to do appointments, to-dos, notes, journaling, both long form and Bujo style. I want to have a page for weekly review and brain sweep, so bringing anything forward I didn't get done. And then I want to do a monthly review in here, but different than the monthly review I'm doing in the MakseLife planner. So this one I want it to just be more journaling style, kind of on my goal progress and habit progress. And then I want to do a month in numbers. So actually, it's just a good time to flip over to this one so you can see what that is. I took some notes. So month in numbers will be things like number of days I journaled, number of hours I slept for the month, number of places I went outside of the house because I work from home and I'm very bad about leaving the house. Number of books I read and or number of pages, number of fasting hours, number of exercise minutes, number of days that I closed all 3 rings, number of steps for the month, number of YouTube videos, number of Instagram posts, either pounds lost or weight change, and then inches lost. So I want to do just kind of like a quick, here's my month in numbers. So that's what I plan to do on that page. All right. So this is a cover that's very poorly sewn that I made. You can actually buy this jelly material, I guess for lack of a better word, on Amazon. And so I bought this, measured it out, and kind of made my own cover, and it's been trimmed down within an inch of its life so it can fit inside of various covers. This is a Moterm Plus, so it does fit quite easily in here. I just have some random stuff. You've seen this a million times. A lot of the deco in here is from Cocoa Daisy. This one is, I don't remember where I got this. I've had it for years. It says Scatter Joy and I really like it, so I move it around between my different planners. A lot of the vinyl I made myself or bought the SVG file and printed it myself. This was from last year's Cocoa Daisy. I don't know why that's still in there. And oops, this is from this year's. So I just have one of those adhesive pockets stuck to a piece of acetate here in the front that I evidently need to retape down because that just popped off. And then one of my favorite stickers that going forward I've put on a piece of acetate so I can move it between planners. I just put a couple sticky notes in here this morning just so I have something to write on. My word of the year is blossom, so I went ahead and made a vinyl of that and stuck it here in front of the calendar. These are from Kaylani Design Co. Both this, which I printed on, they're printable, so I printed this one on vellum, this on paper, and just taped it down. I have my 2023 intentions and then kind of my Q1 goals. And then I brought forward this future planning. I did only put it in here through June because I figure I'll be lucky if I get 3 or 4 months in here if I'm going to continue using this. So I figure I'll just work through June, and then at that point I'll probably be in a new planner. Cocoa Daisy card here. Again, another vinyl, it says January. I made this in Canva. And then reappearance of my printables. So I have like a spot to just jot down tasks for work and home, monthly calendar, and then again another index of things I might find in daily pages I want to reference again. This is a notes page. It says January goals. I don't know what I will use it for, but that was more a tab so I could find this. I have a spot for monthly review, so what I just talked about, I actually wanted to go back and put that information here. I want to do kind of a big mind sweep of everything that I didn't get done that was kind of on my list of stuff that I wanted to do for Life Admin Day, just to bring it forward into this planner. And then we kind of start the weeks. So as you can see here, I just have an outline of the week, a thing, list of things to do, and then I have something for each page. So I'll probably decorate these as I go. I have my travel plans insert. Somewhere I have a saddle stapler. I haven't seen it since I moved. It's probably out in the garage someplace, so I do want to find that. If I do find it, I will staple this together so that I can actually tuck this in the back. Otherwise, I may just end up tucking this in the back. So if you have this insert, it's something that I kind of took some of the pages out of because we're not moving around, so I don't need to keep track of like where I will be each day. I did go ahead and set up week 2 because we come back on the 9th, so that way I'm kind of ready to go for that week. Saturday, Sunday on the same page, weekly review, and then I'm ready to start whatever else I want to do. So the rest of this is blank because I will kind of set it up as I go along. Normally I would not set up 2 weeks at once, but like I said, my trip is splitting those 2 weeks and I don't necessarily want to, I'll probably bring this with me, but I didn't want to drag a bunch of stuff with me. In the back here, I just have February, March already printed out, ready to go. This is what they look like before they get tipped in. Again, I just take a couple pieces of Scotch tape and kind of fold the sticky side back, shove it in, and then kind of smooth it out so it's taped in that way. So I have extras in the back of those. I have these, which I got as a printable. Unfortunately, I don't remember where I got them from, but it was someplace I bought on Etsy. And then things that I would like to add. I actually already added my January vinyl. Considering doing a monthly theme. If I did that, I would do kind of a word in vinyl. I probably would put it kind of at the bottom of this page. In the back, I want to add the budget sheet that I usually have, and then potentially on the back side, modifying it to put like a credit card payment tracker. I pay my cards off each month, but just being able to check off, yes, I made that payment this month. So I have a quick reference for that. I will probably also set aside a page for video and blog ideas, and then potentially if I need it, I will add in a garden log, depending on what's going on with our vegetable garden. But if I do that, I will probably just write it in kind of wherever that falls at that point in the year. So that is what I'm doing here for my B6 Stalogy. Most of the deco I said was from Cocoa Daisy. I do have a few other things I've printed out. Oh, this is probably where those were from. Plum So Cute. And I don't know if her shop is still open or not, but these were printables that I got. So months, these little variety of things. Anyway, I found these, thought I would use them, so I just kind of tuck them in here in the front. And the rest of this is, again, Cocoa Daisy decor. I have a few of these tabs from, I think, Avery. I think they're Post-it note tabs. And then I just tucked in this cute little penguin. All right, so anyway, that is my newest planner, kind of how I'm using it. This is gonna fill in the part of me that just wants something fun to play with and decorate, and doesn't want to be super precious about super neat handwriting, all of that kind of stuff. Not that I'm always that way, but the Instagram pressures, we'll call it that. I don't remember who it was, but somebody tucks their ribbons here in the back pocket. And I was like, that is a fabulous idea, because that way they are out of the way. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, kind of seeing what I'm using and how I'm using it this year. You'll probably see this again. I'm sure you will see my personal weeks again. I'll probably I may do a goal update, we'll see. Later on in the year, I think I mentioned my work weeks. I'm probably not going to show it as often unless something updates on there. I might do something quarterly with that one. Anyway, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm interested to hear kind of what you're using this year. I know it seems like a lot, but I tend to compartmentalize different areas of my life, especially work and home stuff. And a lot of times I just need some place to get out thoughts on paper. So that's why I tend to have a lot of these. And if everything has something assigned, then I know where to find things when I want to find it. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. If you enjoy this sort of planner-related content, I encourage you to consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!